88-79. The Ethiopian team finishes strong, as expected, placing 1 and 2. Dina Castor, running her 7th Boulder, was the first woman to finish for Team USA. Here are the overall team results. Ethiopia finishes first, followed by Team Mexico. The U.S. women finished 3rd with 25 points, just ahead of Team Colorado with 26. On the men's side, 2 teams joined the pro race in 2013. The additions were inspired by a local competitor.
I've always loved running the Boulder, just growing up here and going to college at the Air Force Academy. So I happened to look at the team challenge and thought, why not ask and see if they have a military team, if they'd be open to that. Turns out they were pretty excited about it, and now we have it looks like both an Air Force team and an Army team competing in the team challenge. So just a fun Memorial Day tradition and appreciating the sacrifices of our military and those people that have given the ultimate sacrifice. So.
Team Air Force and the Army's world-class athlete team started against 8 other professional teams on Memorial Day. The new teams will face an extremely talented group. Reigning champion Alan Kiprano was back to race for Team Kenya.
He's just going to keep this up right to the finish.
While the Ethiopian team entered the race having won the team challenge the past 6 years.
The American team better get going here.
Team USA included racers with personal reasons for wanting to run well.
This will be my 4th straight year. I can't tear myself away. It's one of my favorite races of the year.
And the men, here are the men, and it looks like they're running very conservatively. That's a big pack of men. That's the entire field spread right across the road.
Came to watch the pros race when I was in high school. So I watched Alan Culpepper and Meb and Dina run the Criterium course when I was younger. So it was really exciting for me to get to actually be in that professional race myself. And then now this is my first chance on Team USA. So very excited.
Brent Vaughn, right to his right there, number 2, has a personal best of 27:40.
Really excited to be on the USA team this year, and really excited to be running with these guys. These guys were both raised in Colorado, and you know, I went to school here and ran here, and I've had much of my running success here, and I love this place. I love Boulder, and so I'm excited that we're kind of representing for the state of Colorado.
Aaron Braun continues to be out front. He's in great shape, and
I consider this still to be my hometown. So I went to school at CU, so I want to run very well for what I consider to be my home course, I guess.
The men's race is still a group run.
While each runner has different reasons for competing in the Boulder 10K, racers past and present can agree. The Boulder is not an easy course.
But it looks to me like the pace is picking up.
Right, so the course has changed over the last few years. It used to be a downhill start, now it's an uphill start.
So they're just climbing that steep hill, and I think something's going to happen when they get to the top of that hill.
So that even makes it a little bit more interesting, and the fact that it's at altitude is probably the biggest difference between traditional or the races that you might find throughout the country.
And there's nothing like being on at the right time. So this may be his breakthrough race.
Pay attention, listen to your body, and so that's the idea at altitude. And it's more important at altitude than at sea level, especially on a hilly course, because you get out too hard, it can definitely come back to bite you.
At the elite level, you find out that there's certain courses that you like and it likes you.
The course has a lot of turns, and that slows you down more than you think. So if you run it easy, you think, oh, this course isn't bad. But I tell you, when you're running it hard, it's going to be that gradual uphill, a lot of turns. It's going to be more like a cross-country-esque type of road race than screaming fast straight away that you can run really quick on.
This race is over. It's all over, and he has a little revenge, I think, after last week.
You know, you make your way through the first 3 miles, and then all of a sudden it gets pretty tricky. There's several turns, then you make that left-hand turn on the 13th. You have a steep climb there, and all of a sudden you're at 4 miles, and that's really when the race is decided. Almost every year by 4 miles, we pretty much know who the winner's going to be.
Oh, he's got this, because once you cross Boulder Creek and up that hill and start into the stadium, it's very difficult, unless that person ahead truly does what we call die and absolutely slow down and be unable to maintain any kind of rhythm, you're not going to get caught.
It's all the last mile. It's all when you make that final turn. It's right at that 5 mile mark, and it's because it's all uphill from there.
And I almost think I see a smile there, because he's crossing Boulder Creek. He knows this course. He just has to get up that hill.
It's always that mile is long, but it's still close to home, but there's a lot of spectators on that section.
And here it is, Kiprona making that right-hand turn.
And he's got somebody to chase, somebody to see, the last two Canadian women.
So they just cheer you and they carry you up the hill, past the Frank Shorter statue, up into the stadium, and there's just roaring crowds back home.
Kenyan Alan Kiprano did arrive to thunderous applause.
And there he is.
Alan Kiprano.
By far the best feeling is running into Folsom Field in front of that many fellow Americans celebrating Memorial Day.
Aaron Braun. Well done.
And I'm wearing USA across my chest.
Team USA finishing.
Running into the stadium and, you know, the crowd, there's so much energy, and
The noise, the crowd, the energy in the stadium is second to none.
Brent Vaughn, way to go.
Alan Kiprano wins the Boulder Boulder with a time of 29:28.79. This is the 12th win by a Kenyan runner, the most by any country in Boulder Boulder history. The Ethiopian, Kenyan, and Mexican runners rounded out the top 10, while Aaron Braun was the first from the U.S. team to finish. Results for the International Team Challenge look like this. The Kenyan team placed first, snapping a 6-year reign by the Ethiopians, who finished second. The U.S. team placed third with 12 points. Despite strong finishes by the first two runners on the Mexican team, Mexico's final runner finished 25th, dropping the team to 4th place. Up next, we're going to wrap things up and bring you some of the sights and sounds of the 2013 BB 10K.
The Boulder Boulder, presented by Crocs, is brought to you by Crocs, making the world more comfortable, and Transamerica.
$35 ago, there was this sense that you had something there. You weren't quite sure how big it was going to get, but that wasn't the point. Because the point was everybody seemed to be having fun. It's one of the few sporting phenomena in modern times that's truly inclusive. It really is, because it's so much more participatory than observatory. If you think about it, there's nothing more basic than putting on some running clothes and going out there. No one can tell who you are, what your socioeconomic status is, how good you are, how fast you're going to run. Hi, Mom. So that now, in 35th running of the race, and you find people are going to participate now that 35 years ago, no one had any clue that they would be involved in this kind of event. And it's still growing and still spreading out, and the inclusion is kind of still diffusing.
The Boulder Boulder is inclusive, and it has had a huge impact on the health of this community. Probably a good reason why there's almost 50,000 runners annually attending this race. And before we wrap things up, I would be remiss if I didn't show you some of the rather unique stuff that you might have missed amongst those 50K.
Superhero is a state of mind.
It's a perfect day!
Gonna set my soul, gonna set my soul on fire.
You remember Mary Poppins? What a lovely lady. Let's go. Oh, thank you, let's go, bye. Okay, bye.
Yeah, rock into a roll. Go Boulder, Boulder.
Just a little break.
Well, that's all from the 2013 Boulder Boulder presented by Crocs. You can check out finish times and other upcoming race info at boulderboulder.com. But more than anything, I hope we've been able to inspire you to get out there and run yourself. Until next Memorial Day, I'm Abby Wayner. Thanks for joining us.